Hello and welcome to a brand new tournament. You see a very large course on our screen and a very interesting secondary part to this competition for what we are calling our Marble Soccer Points Tournament. We welcome you in. I'm Ricochet here for MSPN's coverage of Marble Fubica. As you see on your screen, there's a couple different options for point scoring in this competition. It's not just about getting through the course, but it's also about determining which side of the course you're going to come out from. As you see the team statistics for 2019 on the screen, Mexico's moved into 4th place with a win in our last competition. Russia, Brazil, England still leading the way in medal spots right now. Two teams going to go in a one-off competition, one and done. Most points is going to win it and move on, as is with many of our competitions. That is the case today, as you see the large supporting sections. So one and done, but it's not just about scoring in this competition. As you look at the cup we're competing for today in another marble soccer event. And we'll show you the teams. The Philippines, Russia, Brazil, and Germany. United States, Vietnam, India, and Argentina. On the left side of the bracket. On the right side, it's Belgium, Indonesia, Mexico, and Chile. And then Malaysia, Portugal, France, and Colombia. The way that this competition is going to work, it's one team against another, and this first competition will be the Philippines against Russia. You've got to get through the competition, or through the course, and then decide which one you're going to go through, either the 2 or the 5. Then you have to make it into the goal as the teams are off, and then you'll receive that amount of points for which spot you went through, whether it's 2 or 5. As you see a couple go through the 2, only one went in though. It's the Philippines, and they're going to win it. They're going to win this competition 2-0 and be the first team to make it into the quarterfinals. You see on the replay, 1, 2, 3 different marbles made it through the 2. Nobody made it through 5, but only one made it to the back of the net, and that's what matters. Not just where you're going, whether it's going through the 2 spot that'll get you 2 points, or the 5 that will earn you a significantly higher amount of points, but you also have to then make it into the goal. That's the case for the Philippines, and they're moving on as our next competition matchup is going to be France against Colombia. And you're battling with the other team to see which side you come through. A lot of people going through the 5, and the only one to make it into the goal is Colombia. And they're going to win this one 5-0. If you go towards the side, as you see, one of the Colombian marbles didn't even make it down the course. They still get the win. If you go down the closer on the screen, the closer option, the lower funnel and lower part of the course there, you're going to have a better opportunity to score 5. If you're up towards the higher part, it's going to be a higher opportunity to score just 2 points. But you have to make it through the goal, which we've seen 2 of the 4 teams so far haven't even been able to do that. And so it doesn't matter which side you go through if you don't put it in the back of the net. This is Argentina against India now. And India is going to send a bunch through the 2. A lot of oh my goodness, a lot of goals all over the place. Argentina scores 2, India scores 3. They're all in the 2. And the final score, with that last one right there for India coming in late, is India 6, Argentina 4. India moves on in a action-packed competition there. Now we get Belgium against Indonesia, who impressed in their last competition. Made it all the way to the championship. Settled for silver. There they go. Belgium gets out first. And the only one to score is going to be Indonesia, and they're going to score twice. 1 through the 2 and 1 through the 5. And Indonesia gets the win 7-0. Another easy win for Indonesia. There was the 2, and then all alone. And an easy one. Just had to make their way through the little hole there. And Indonesia gets a 7-0 win. Next up is Germany against Brazil. Germany in the black. Brazil with a minty green in today's competition. Who gets down first? It's going to be mostly Germany, and they'll put a few in the back of the net, as does Brazil. Brazil's going to get the win, though. 4-2 the final. And one of their marbles, once again, a couple of times now that the winning team has had one of their marbles get stuck and unable to complete the course. Couple went through, but right off the post, and that's what costs Germany off the right post and does not go through. And so Brazil is moving on. And now it's Malaysia against Portugal. Interesting twist in the competition that it really doesn't matter which side of the half pipe you come out on. Malaysia with the sleek gray look. Everybody's going to make it through this time, and they're headed towards every which way. They all end up in the twos. 3 of them go in for Malaysia. Only 1 scores for Portugal, and Malaysia gets the win 6-2. Look at that. They changed from where you would think they would go in the 5. They moved up the course through the 2 and had success there, enough to get the win. Malaysia's moving on. Take on Colombia in the second round. And now the matchup is I would say, highly anticipated one. Vietnam against the United States. The USA always has success, and Vietnam has done well in their last couple of competitions. They're going to get to the half pipe first. Which way are they going to go? They're going to go through the 5. Now they're going to get to the 2. Another 2. Here comes the US. They're only going to put 1 in. No, they put in 2. And the United States gets the win 5-4. 2 scores for Vietnam. The U.S. only got 1, but it's a 5. And it got some help from Vietnam. An assist there that allows the U.S. to take out their opponent and move on to the second round. They'll take on India in the quarterfinals, and that's going to be a devastating loss for Vietnam there, as it looked like they were going to get that win, and they ultimately helped the U.S. along. Moving on now to Chile against Mexico. Mexico won our last competition, and they are going to get to the half pipe first. Every which way they go. Mexico's got 1, Mexico's got 2, and they've got a 7-0 win. Nothing went through for Chile. There was the 5 for Mexico, and then clearing the way, another 2 points go, and Mexico has the second shutout win of a 7-0 score. Brazil against the Philippines as we begin round number 2. Spots in the semifinals starting to be on the line here. Brazil and the Philippines. It's all Brazil. 1 at the end. There's 2 at the end now. The Philippines made a run for it, but it's 7-4 in the final. Brazil put in a 5 and a 2, and the Philippines way later put in a couple more. Wow, almost another 5 went in. And then there's the first and the second of the 2 twos that were put in for the Philippines, but it's too little too late, as Brazil earned a big enough lead that they will advance to the semifinals with a 7-4 win. Now we get Colombia against Malaysia. Up at the starting grid, and here we go. One of the Colombian marbles have been struggling. Let's see if everybody can get it onto the course. The answer is yes, and a couple of 2s for Colombia. 1 for Malaysia, another 2 for Colombia, and at the last moment, Malaysia had 1 more chance, but they cannot put it in. And so Colombia moves on with a 4-2 final. There was 1 for each, and then there, with on a ricochet there, Colombia able to put the extra 1 in, and then blocking the way, no chance for Malaysia when they decided they were going to go for a 2. No opportunity really there, as Colombia had the way blocked, and they move on to the semifinals. Now India against the United States. Winner takes on Brazil in the semifinals. Making their way down pretty easily here. Everybody's going to get their chance. And the U.S. puts in 2. There's a couple of 2s for India. And that's going to do it. India's going to win by a final of 4-2. And they block the way, where the United States was going to have a hard time scoring another. There they were, all 3 at the very beginning able to score. And there was the one that really cost the U.S. And they blocked it there, after nearly, for the second time, the opponent helping out the United States. So India moving on to the semifinals. They take on Brazil. And now Mexico and Indonesia, which was the matchup for the championship in our last competition, which was just a regular marble soccer. If you haven't seen that, go ahead and check it out. Now they face off here with a spot in the semifinals on the line. Indonesia gets the first try. They're going to get through for 2. And that might be it. It will be it. Indonesia scores 2. Both these competitions, or both these teams, won 7-0 in their first round. This time only 2 points combined, and Indonesia's onto the semifinals for the second consecutive tournament. Back to the other side, though, of this bracket, and it's Brazil against India. Brazil building a large lead against the Philippines, and India taking out the United States to get to where they are. They're slowly making their way down. One of the Brazilian marbles is stuck, and so is another Brazilian marble and an Indian marble. 3 of the 6 total marbles unable to score. Brazil wins it 2-0. We'll have to check the replay as their only marble to get through scored. The 2 Indian marbles hit it right in the middle. An easy score for Brazil, and they get the win in a wild one to move on to the championship. Something tells me that is not going to do against whoever comes out of this matchup between Colombia and Indonesia in the championship round. And their supporters are right next to each other. The top 2 rows, Indonesia. The bottom 3 below that are the Colombians. And now they face each other. There is a couple for Indonesia. And that's it. Another 7-0 win. Indonesia has not allowed their opponent to score in their first 3 rounds of competition, and they're going into the championship with a shutout going. They've outscored their opponents 16-0 here, and nearly another 2 at the end there for Indonesia. And they've got 2 of the 3 times that we've seen a 7-0 score. But first, our third place game before we get Brazil and Indonesia. We get India and Colombia for a spot on the podium. And everybody makes it through this time, and a lot of scores. All 3 scored for India, but it's not enough. Colombia put in a 5 to mix in with their 2, and they're going to win it 7-6. So the third place goes to Colombia, and now the matchup between Brazil and Indonesia. Once again, a big powerhouse country against the smaller Indonesia, trying to avenge what they did last time in the second place win. They have not allowed their opponent to score at all. That is going to change right there. Brazil puts in a couple. Indonesia put in 1. Indonesia put in a 5, and they win the tournament. Brazil put in 2, but they were both 2s. That only counts for 4, and right there, rolling across the line, Indonesia wins this one. They win the Marble Soccer Points Tournament. They get the gold. The bronze goes to Colombia. Brazil has to settle for silver. And gold today belongs to Indonesia. Congratulations to them as they avenge the second place finish in their previous tournament. They take out the team they lost to in the championship then. In Mexico, they take them out in the quarterfinal matchup. They allow only 4 points total, and they outscore their opponents 21-4 throughout this tournament to get the win. Congratulations to Indonesia. They dominate this tournament and get the gold. Until next time, I'm Rick O'Shea, and thanks for watching MSPN's coverage of Marble Cubica.